Hello, all you positive heads out there. It's so good to be back with all you beautiful reflections of the one source consciousness that creates and animates all things. If you're new to this podcast, of course, we're super happy to have you here. And if you've been listening and enjoying for a while, I would be super grateful if you would please take a moment to give us a review on Apple Podcasts. It's one of the best and simplest ways to pay it forward and help others find the show so that they too can tap into the powerful perspectives and positive vibrations we are collectively emanating. The other unique and magical way to share this show is by sending any friends you think would benefit from listening to this podcast our Game with the Universe link at positivehead.com/game. Also listed in the show notes, which will serve them up a quote-unquote random episode when they click it. Just instruct them before clicking the link to close their eyes for a moment and sincerely ask the universe to cue up the episode that contains the insight and perspectives that they most need to hear at this point in their life journey, and then click to listen to whatever episode is synchronistically served up to them. I have heard time and time again from people about the incredible results they received playing the game. So just tell your friends magical results are guaranteed or their karma back.
All right, all you positive heads, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me today. Here we co-create again. And I'll tell you what, today is definitely one of those co-creative episodes. So many things have come together today for this episode to be what it is. And I'm going to tell you all about all the synchronicities involved. But first things first, I know you all are aware or are hopefully aware at this point. It's been going on this whole week about the fires in the Amazon. And this is a scary thing. The Amazon is the lungs of our planet. Amazon provides about 20% of the oxygen that this planet uses. And yeah, it's a pretty big deal. And so what can we do about that? So I thought that we could all take a moment and pray rain. And if you ever heard Greg Braden tell this story about praying rain with his friend, I'll tell you it really quick. So a Native American friend of his asked him one day to go and pray rain. And so they went. And after sitting for a moment, his friend turned to him and said, "Okay, let's go get lunch." And Greg was like, "Hey, wait a second. I thought we were going to pray for rain." And then his friend explained to him that what he did was they went out to this sacred place. And when he got there, what he did was use his imagination to feel what it feels like when the rain is pouring down upon him. And he felt the wetness of the drops of rain falling from the sky and pouring down on his skin. And he felt what it feels like when the rain is raining on you. And he felt what it feels like when you're standing in the dirt and it's raining and it turns muddy and it gets all gooey in between your toes. And then he sat in gratitude and appreciation for that. And then he was done. And he explained to Greg that he didn't pray for rain because to pray for rain would keep it dry, because you're just affirming the belief of no rain. But when he sat and used his imagination to appreciate what it feels like in the rain, that's a whole different story. Now he's praying rain with gratitude, with love, and with the knowing that that is going to be the case. And so I want us all to do that for the Amazon. Let's take a moment, close your eyes if it is safe to do so, and feel yourself in the Amazon rainforest and feel the rain coming down upon you. Feel the wetness in the forest. Feel it pouring down and soaking the earth there. Feel that just for a moment. And I think that all of us combined, we can make a real difference. What do you think? Do you believe it? I do. Okay. Now that we have gotten the most important things out of the way, I want to tell you how this episode came together. So over the last few days, there has been the concept of integrity that has come up. There's been some things going on social media that I've noticed that have brought up this concept of integrity, and in different ways. And I'm not going to get into what those things are, but the point is, I was thinking about talking about integrity today. And then I got an email from sweet Catherine, who reached out to me after Tuesday's show when I gave y'all my email, which I'll give it to you again. It's Erica at Positive Head, ERICA at positivehead.com if you wanted to reach out, if you have any questions for this show or for any other reason. And so Catherine reached out and she said this: "Good morning. In July, I began listening and exploring the Positive Head podcast. I'm trying to learn more about my guides and the universe. I want to listen to them and open myself up to meditation, manifesting, and whatever else comes along. I just don't know where to even begin. Any direction you could point me would be appreciated. Thank you so much. Enjoy your day, Catherine." Thank you, Catherine. I appreciate you so much for sending this to me, because when I got it, I was like, yeah, great idea. That's what I'll talk about. So I kind of put this integrity thing to the back burner for just a moment. And I thought, well, I talk about meditation a lot. I talk about higher self. I just talked about higher self maybe last week or the week before. And so I thought, let's talk about manifesting. Perfect. Right. And what's interesting is that I go and I find a YouTube clip. I always try to do that. I go to YouTube and I start by just putting in something simple, manifesting, and I see what comes up. Well, and then I look to see who are the teachers maybe that I recognize or that I enjoy listening to. And I found a Wayne Dyer talk that he did at Wanderlust. And I think it was like 2013 maybe. But it was an hour and 20-minute long talk. So what I did was I put it to the side and said, all right, I'll check it out later. And then I went back to my idea about integrity, because I started thinking about what integrity means. And to me, living in integrity means that we are living in accordance with what our inner being is. And what is our inner being? Our inner being is our higher self. It is that part of us that understands that we are God. And so when we live in integrity and we live as if we understand and know that we are God, then being honest and honorable and trustworthy and all these things that integrity means, they just come along with the territory. So then I looked up the definition of integrity. And obviously, being of honest quality and having strong moral principles is a definition that we all know and understand, being of good character, having good virtues. But another definition is the state of being whole and undivided. As in, they use this example in the dictionary, upholding territorial integrity and national sovereignty. So synonyms there are unity and wholeness. The state of being whole and undivided. Just like our inner being, whole and undivided. Our inner being knows it's not separate. Our inner being knows its oneness with everything. It knows that it is source. So then I got to thinking, you know what? integrity, when we live in integrity, that's how we manifest. That is absolutely how we manifest. We don't manifest in any other way. The secret to manifesting is getting in touch with your inner being and acting in accordance with it. And then the universe just provides. You don't have to do anything. You do nothing but be the God source that you are. Live in integrity, and then you will manifest. So then I thought to myself, I wonder if there's a good Tao quote about integrity. There has to be. I love the Tao. It was one of the first things that put me on this path back 20 years or so ago. I had an angel friend who introduced me to this school of thought, and I didn't even know what the Tao was, being raised a Catholic girl my whole life. Catholic grade school, high school, and college, by the way. So definitely tried the indoctrination. It didn't quite work. So I found the Tao in college, thanks to my beautiful friend, and it really set my path. And so I have a very strong affinity for the Tao. And so I Googled, of course, Tao and integrity. And guess what I found out? The Tao is also known as the Great Integrity. Who knew? I didn't. I had no idea all these years that the Tao is also called the Great Integrity. Oh, wow. So I found a passage from the Tao here, and it is from the Tao Te Ching, a new translation by Ralph Allen Dale. And it goes like this. The Tao that can be told is not the universal Tao. The name that can be named is not the universal name. In the infancy of the universe, there were no names. Naming fragments the mysteries of life into 10,000 things and their manifestations. Yet, mysteries and manifestations spring from the same source, the Great Integrity, which is the mystery within manifestation, the manifestation within mystery, the naming of the unnamed, and the unnaming of the named. When these interpenetrations are in full attendance, we will pass the gates of naming notions in our journey towards transcendence. So, wow, huh? I can't make this stuff up. You know, like, really? I Google Tao and integrity when I'm thinking about this connection with manifestation, and I come up with that. Very cool. Thank you, universe. Thank you, guides. Thank you, myself, my higher self, because this is how I'm finding all this stuff. I'm being guided, and I'm just listening to it. I'm just listening to these things that come up. And these are the things that I find. Pretty crazy. It gets even better. So I go back to the Wayne Dyer clip that I had put aside for later, and I start listening to it. Now, of course, Wayne Dyer is a philosopher of the Tao, right? And he's studied the Tao for many years. He talks about the Tao. He's written books about the Tao. So in this talk, he's talking about the Tao a lot. And he actually talks about this passage of the Tao that can be told is not the universal Tao. The name that can be named is not the universal name. What is the Tao? The Tao is source of everything. It is God. It's just another word. And it is Wayne Dyer's talking about in this talk that I'm going to share with you in just a little bit. He's talking about the I am presence, the God within. That I am presence is where we live in our integrity. So like I said before, this talk is about an hour and 20 minutes long, and it's definitely well worth listening to the whole thing because Wayne Dyer is so eloquent in his speech, and I just love how poetic he is, and he quotes so many different teachers and philosophers, and I love that. And what's also interesting is that when I first started listening to this, again, my original thing was, coming from integrity. And I saw this because of these things that I had seen online about people not acting in their integrity. And the first thing that he did was start off his talk with a joke. And afterwards he said, I borrowed that from someone. That is living in integrity. He does this all the time. He's always making sure that he is quoting every time he can. That's huge because that's exactly where this thing came up for me. So I just thought, oh, how synchronistic is that already when listening to this clip? But what does he go into talking about? He goes into talking about the fact that our soul is infinite and that when we are in union with our highest self, that part of us that knows that we are God, that we then have the power. And that's how we become a master manifester. So take a listen to Wayne Dyer here. What I did was I took a couple clips here and there out of it, and then we're going to listen to a few minutes of just clips at the beginning, and then it's like the last 10 minutes of his talk because he sums everything up so nicely. And this talk is called Mastering the Art of Manifesting with Wayne Dyer from Wonderlust. Take a listen.
The ideal of the soul, the thing that it asks for, is neither knowledge, nor light, nor happiness. The ideal of the soul is space, immensity. The one thing it needs more than anything else is to be free to expand and to reach out and to embrace the infinite. Yeah, the ideal of the soul is infinity because that's what the soul is. It is miserable when it is circumscribed or restricted in any way. This is what the highest self is. It's the part of you, the place within you that is not worshiping God. That's what religion has brought to us and taught us, that God is outside of us. It's the part and the place within you that knows that at your highest level, you are God. Each and every one of us. And when you are connected to the highest place within yourself, when you are connected to the God that you are, you have all the powers of the creative source of the universe. You become the Tao. The Tao becomes you. So, yoga, or union, is really a way of becoming a manifester. Now, in order to become a manifester, someone who was able to attract and place into their lives what they place their attention on, there are certain, we saw a lot about something called The Secret not too long ago on all the newspapers and magazines and on the news and always. And I was asked to be a part of that and stayed away from it for different reasons. Because for me, manifesting is not about attracting what you want. Manifesting is an awareness and an understanding that you attract what you are. The Tao teaches us that there is no place that God is not. If there is no place that God is not, then God must be in you. And if there is no place that God is not, then God must also be in all that I perceive to be missing from my life. And therefore, in order to become a manifester and to attract into my life what I want, I simply have to realign myself. I have to rejoin. I have to yoga myself to God. And the most egregious error of the ego is a belief system that says that who I am is separate from God. That God is something outside of me. We have not been raised to understand and believe that at our basic core, what Lao Tzu called our original nature, what we are is love. And all we have to do is be that and live that. We have to stop evaluating who we are on the basis of those ego identifiers and instead begin to see ourselves as divine love, as pieces of God. The Native Americans used to say that no tree has branches so foolish as to fight among themselves. The greatest gift that you've ever been given is the gift of your imagination. Your imagination is yours to be able to do anything you want with. You can place any thought in there with the awareness of I am. There's a very famous poem about that moment of Moses speaking to God. It says, "Earth's crammed with heaven, and every burning bush afire with God. And those who truly know take off their sandals, while the rest sit round it and pick blackberries." It's your call. It's your call. So your imagination is the greatest gift that you've been given. And you can put anything in there. No one can tell you what can be there or what can't be there. Einstein said imagination is greater than knowledge. And he said if you want your children to have a great imagination, read them fairy tales. If you want them to be even smarter, read them more fairy tales. That's why I've written 5 children's books with that very idea in mind. The second thing is that you have to learn to live from the end. Whatever you have placed into your imagination, you have to act as if it already were your reality, independent of what anything or anyone else says. When I was told that I had this diagnosis of leukemia, I can't tell you how many people sent me condolence letters and sent me information about this disease and how it was incurable, and unfortunately this. And fortunately, I was given by my children a wonderful gift. It's called an iPad. And it's got this wonderful feature in it. It's called Delete. And then there's another feature of it. It's called Trash, which is really great. I'd like to have a button like that on me at any time, so that anytime anybody brings any information to you, you just push the trash button. It even makes a little sound. It goes, whoop. Hit delete, and it's gone. I had this little scar that you see right here on the right side of my face. There was a skin cancer thing there, and I was going to the dermatologist, and they were going to cut this thing out. And I had a woman stop me, and she said, "That's really bad." I said, "What? It's just a little red mark here, and they're going to just cut it out, and it'll be fine." She said, No. She said, "My girlfriend's husband, he had that. They had to cut his penis off." I said, "Just got a little red mark on my chin, and that couldn't possibly..." Trash, right? You want to be very careful, because there's always people out there who are willing to send you messages about how terrible something is going to be. The third of these principles is the principle of, I call it, assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You must be able to feel it, because every time that you feel something within your body, you give a instruction to your subconscious mind. And your subconscious mind is the part of you where you do all of your living. You want to redo your subconscious mind. Now, I jotted down for the last principle. I have 5 minutes left. And it's... This is from the book of Job. Now, tonight, I'm going to give you guys such a gift. Tonight, and every night for the rest of your life, I want you to take the last 5 minutes before you go off to sleep and realize that you are about to program your subconscious mind. All right? Your subconscious mind is most at home when you are unconscious, when you are asleep. If you spend the last 5 minutes of your day, which so many people do, reviewing all of the things that you don't like and all the things that didn't work out and how terrible you feel and who abused you and who was mean to you and who said this and they did this, and you're constantly doing this kind of thing with your mind, then you are programming your subconscious mind that when you awaken, because you're now about to marinate for the next 8 hours in your subconscious mind. And then when you awaken, you will rejoin the universal subconscious mind, the mind of God, from which we all originate. We're all just individualized personal expressions of that one thing that we call the Tao, or God, or divine mind, or soul, or spirit. But the Tao that can be named is not the Tao. So you want to be real careful about how you program your subconscious mind. This is from the book of Job. In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falls upon men while slumbering on their beds, then he opens the ears of men and seals their instruction. Job 33, 15 and 16. When you are slumbering on your bed, he opens your ears and seals your instruction. What you place into your subconscious mind as you are about to go into this deep slumber is all dependent upon what you do the last 3 or 4 or 5 minutes before you go off to sleep. You want to place into your imagination whatever you have placed into the I am that I spoke about earlier. I am well. I am content. I am peaceful. I am happy. I am prosperous. I am abundant. I am God. I am God. I am God. Because at the basic core, each and every one of us are just that. Okay, so we just have a couple of minutes left. I want to do just like if you'll just close your eyes and just listen to this meditation. It's from the book 3 Magic Words. Here's what I'd like you to say to yourself at night. I know that I am pure spirit, that I always have been, and that I always will be. There is inside me a place of confidence and quietness and security where all things are known and understood. This is the universal mind, God, of which I am a part, and which responds to me as I ask of it. This universal mind knows the answer to all of my problems, and even now, the answers are speeding their way to me. I needn't struggle for them. I needn't worry or strive for them. When the time comes, the answers will be there. I give my problems to the great mind of God. I let go of them, confident that the correct answers will return to me when they are needed. Through the great law of attraction, everything in life that I need for my work and fulfillment will come to me. It is not necessary that I strain about this, only believe. For in the strength of my belief, my faith will make it so. I see the hand of divine intelligence all about me, in the flower, the tree, the brook, the meadow. I know that the intelligence that created all these things is in me and around me, and that I can call upon it for my slightest need. I know that my body is a manifestation of pure spirit, and that spirit is perfect. Therefore, my body is perfect also. I enjoy life, for each day brings a constant demonstration of the power and wonder of the universe and myself. I am confident, I am serene, I am sure. No matter what obstacle or undesirable circumstance crosses my path, I refuse to accept it, for it is nothing but illusion. There can be no obstacle or undesirable circumstance to the mind of God, which is in me, around me, and serves me now. This is the great lesson. Know this within you. When Herman Melville was writing Moby Dick, he wasn't writing about a man looking for a whale. He was writing about a man, Ahab, trying to find his higher self. He said these words, "For as this appalling ocean surrounds the verdant land, so in the soul of man lies one insular Tahiti, full of peace and joy, but encompassed by all of the horrors of the half-lived life." In every moment of your life as you leave here today, you have this choice. You can either be a host to God or a hostage to your ego. It's your call.
Before we continue on with today's episode, for those of you interested in getting more fantastic fungi in your life, I want to take a quick moment to tell you about a friend of mine's brand new company, The Great Mother. Recently, I have been drinking The Great Mother's superfood mushroom coffee alternative called Ritual, as well as regularly taking their awesome Ally microdoses, and I am truly loving both. As you probably know, these days, many of the world's highest achievers and performers swear by microdosing. The problem is it can still be difficult to get a hold of magic mushrooms. That's why when my friend reached out, who lives in an area and country where legalization is not a problem like it was in the past, and said he'd be willing to offer microdoses to my listeners, I wanted to pass the word along. Ally microdoses are 100% organic. And in addition to a small amount of the magic active ingredient, they also contain functional mushrooms like lion's mane, cordyceps, chaga, and other brain boosters like bacopa. Ally is essentially a full spectrum nootropic. And of course, the coffee alternative Ritual doesn't contain magic mushrooms, but it has an array of the best organic functional mushrooms in the world. And, with functional mushrooms, it's really important to get them from the highest integrity sources. And whereas some other highly popular mushroom coffee alternatives on the market only contain a few varieties of functional mushrooms in their actual ingredients, Ritual has 7. Not only does it contain more types, it also contains 3 to 4 times the amount that the big brands have in each serving. And it tastes amazing. I actually like to have it on its own, as well as mixing it into my coffee sometimes as well. However, since this is definitely a unique offering, there are a few steps. First, just reach out and request to follow the private page, thegreat.mother on Instagram. Once you've been accepted to follow, just message what you're interested in getting and someone will get back to you.
So it's your call. Be a host to the God that you are, or be a hostage to your ego. And this is a choice that we all get to make on a daily basis. And how excellent was that idea that he gave at the end about programming your subconscious mind before bed. We've talked about this one before. This is such a great technique. In this space, your brain waves are different. You're in like a trance hypnotic type state when you're falling asleep, especially when you start to see the pictures come. That is when you put in these thoughts of I am, whatever it is that you would like to manifest. You place this into your imagination. You feel it as if it is already in existence. So, I am peaceful. I am safe. I am grounded. I am love. I am light. I am infinite. And how beautiful was his ideal of the soul, talking about the infinity of your soul, how it is never ending, always, always expanding. And that the real secret, and I love that he made that distinction there about, not wanting to get involved in the movie so much because he doesn't really enjoy the concept about things, about attracting things, not about things that we want. And it's more about who we are And that manifesting is an awareness and an understanding that you attract what you are. So if we want to manifest good things and attract good things, then we have to be good and live in our integrity and know that we are infinite love. That is what we are made of. That is where we come from. And that is where we go back to. He said, our original nature is love, and all we have to do is be that and live that. And that is truly the secret to manifesting. You know, another synchronicity this morning, I noticed a couple posts on the Positive Head Facebook group, which if you are not on there, please join us there. But there was a post from Allison, which looks like it was yesterday. And it's a really cute picture of this dog sitting up on a tree in the woods, like on his back legs with his paws kind of in front of him and like an upside down prayer pose. And it says, to catch the squirrel, one must become the squirrel. Exactly. You have to be it. If you want something, you need to be it. And then Carrie this morning, she posted just a really simple thing, just saying hello and I love you. And she said, I hope you all manifest a wonderful day. So I thought, this is great. All these manifestation synchronicities. And then here's what's like the coolest thing for me about how this came about today. At the very end of Wayne Dyer's talk, he just read something from the movie 3 Magic Words, which was insanely powerful. And I definitely recommend that you use that when you try to go to bed or any other time where you're wanting to think a different thought. Use those thoughts. But so I was wondering, 3 Magic Words, I know that movie because of Dolores Cannon. Dolores Cannon was in that movie. Let me see if it's the same movie. And so I Google it, and of course, it is the same movie. And I pull up a blog article that Dolores had written about the premiere of that movie. And who does she mention in that article but our very own Sonia Sophia? Sonia was just on Monday with Brandon, and Sonia is on the show at least once a month. But Sonia was at the premiere of 3 Magic Words doing a tapping and energy session. So what? And I wanted to check on that to see, is this the same Sonia Sophia, of course. So I Googled that and I come upon her press kit, and in her press kit, the one episode that she has there listed for Positive Head is, what do you know? Manifesting greatness. So there you go, everybody. I can't make this shit up. It's crazy. I absolutely love it today. It's been really fun. I hope you enjoyed Wayne Dyer and his wisdom. I'm going to leave you with a song today. This is Trevor Hall, Wishman. Until next time, love you all.
Down by the bayou, I saw good things inside you. Good things inside you, they call into my memories of old. And tell me what you know. Well, I saw a man there. I saw a man and sat down. I shook his hand there. I shook his hand, he laughed loud and put a question to my heart. A question oh so sharp. Well, he said, hey, wish man, tell me what's your wish. Close your eyes, all we got is this. Angels speak of a thing called bliss. Close your eyes, all we got is this, yeah. what to say, love, or what to say when that turned. Well, I was overwhelmed. I stood and let my house burn as I saw horses in the sky. Let me take that ride, yeah. Well, I walked on there. Well, I walked on with thoughts deep. I never knew that love could dig way down and bury me. I turn and face, I do not run. Another chapter has begun, yeah. Forever one, yeah. 'Cause he said, hey, wish man, tell me what's your wish. Close your eyes, all we got is this. Angels speak of a thing called bliss. Close your eyes, all we got is this. Hey, wish man, tell me what's your wish. Close your eyes, all we got is this. Angels speak of a thing called bliss. Close your eyes, all we got is this. If I'm straying far away, I get down and start to pray. 'Cause I know that my song will reach those heavens. I stand up, I'm not forgetting. I know 'Cause he said, hey, wish man, tell me what's your wish. Close your eyes, all we got is this. Angels speak of a thing called bliss. Close your eyes, all we got is this. Hey, wish man, tell me what's your wish. Close your eyes.